Imagine you've just meticulously completed your 1040X, double-checked every entry, and attached all the necessary supporting documents. You're ready to send it off, but you're hesitant. Should you embrace the digital age and e-file, or stick with the traditional method of mailing it in? It's a decision many taxpayers face. So Sam, to kick things off, what are the advantages and disadvantages of each method?
Good question, Alex. E-filing generally is much faster. The IRS typically processes e-filed amended returns within 8 to 12 weeks. Mailing, on the other hand, can take significantly longer, often several months or more due to manual processing. A clear advantage of e-filing is also that it reduces the chance of errors, like data entry mistakes, which can further delay processing. However, not all 1040Xs are eligible for e-filing. You can currently only e-file for the current tax year and the 2 prior tax years. Any older than that, and you'll need to mail it.
So if I understand correctly, if I'm amending my 2021 return in 2024, I could e-file, but if I suddenly realize I made a mistake on my 2020 return, I'd have to mail it.
Precisely.
That's a great clarification, Taylor. It's important to know those limitations. And it brings us to another key question. How can taxpayers track the status of their amended return once it's submitted?
For e-filed returns, the IRS provides the Where's My Amended Return tool on their website. You can start checking the status about 3 weeks after filing. For mailed returns, there's unfortunately no online tracking. You can call the IRS, but be prepared for potential wait times.
That makes sense. This reminds me of what we discussed earlier about keeping good records. Having a copy of your 1040X and any supporting documents is crucial, especially if you have to call the IRS to inquire about your mailed return.
Exactly. A good filing system is your best friend during tax season, and even more so when dealing with amendments. It's like having a map to navigate the process. So let's recap quickly. E-filing is generally faster and more accurate, but has year limitations. Mailing is the option for older returns, but be prepared for a longer wait. And regardless of how you file, keep meticulous records. Now let's consider a real-world example. Imagine you're due a substantial refund, and you need the money soon. E-filing would likely be the better choice, even if it means gathering digital copies of all your supporting documents. However, if your amendment involves complex issues or requires a lot of explanation, mailing might be preferable, as it allows you to include more detailed information. Sam, anything to add to that?
Just to reinforce that point, Alex, choosing the right method really depends on your individual circumstances and the specific details of your amendment.
Great advice, Sam. And this segues perfectly into our next topic, which is something every taxpayer should be aware of: the statute of limitations for claiming refunds. How long do you actually have to amend your return and get that money back? We'll be exploring that next. So, to wrap up this section on e-filing versus mailing your 1040X, remember, e-filing is quicker, mailing is for older returns, and tracking options vary. Now, for our listeners, take some time to compare the e-filing and mailing options on the IRS website. Choose the method that best suits your individual needs and circumstances. You can find a link to the IRS website in our show notes.